earliest memory with a car was when I was about 15, 16. I had that Honda, but I was kind of a bad kid, getting in trouble a lot. And my parents allowed me to buy that car. I remember we paid $1,500 for it, bought it from my neighbor across the street. And I couldn't drive it very often because I was always in trouble. My parents took away the keys, but drove it anyway. So waited till they left, and I would break into their room and get the keys and call up all my friends and say, hey, I'm coming to pick you up. And nothing funnier than a bunch of guys stuffed in a two-seater Honda driving around town, causing more trouble. I bought the Porsche when I it didn't really make sense to get it. My dad kind of told me, hey, you know those air-cooled Porsches that you're always kind of whining about, how much you want one? He said, I met a lady, Rita, and her husband, Duke, that has 2 of them, and she wants to meet you. And so we went over to kind of meet Rita, and Rita threw me the keys and said, take it for a spin. And I said, well, you don't even know me. And she says, yeah, but I know your dad. He's a great guy, so you got to be great too. So Rita and I went for a drive in the 911, and I was just hooked. I couldn't believe how amazing it was. They're such a nice couple. They had all the wheels, the original Fuchs, the manuals, a big stack of parts, and the black 911 was all cleaned up and sitting in the driveway. And I was just over the moon. I haven't done much to that car. I lowered it, I added the fixie wheels, powder coated them, put some nice tires on. I added a Fab Speed exhaust that I bought secondhand from a friend of mine, Sean. I livery wrapped it, or I guess they would say half livery wrapped it. And the inspiration for that wrap was the John Player Special race team. They did a lot of F1 racing, sent a race for them for a while. And it was just such a cool, like 80s, 90s race car design. And I just have always loved it. It just looked very elegant. John Player Special was a cigarette company in Europe. And I just loved the whole design. And I thought, okay, well, I want to borrow from that design because I love it, but I want to add my analog and grit kind of logo to it. And people love it. And I love, there's 2 groups of people. There's one group that recognizes instantly, and they say, that's John Player Special. And I'm like, yeah, man, thanks for noticing. And then other people that have never heard of John Player Special, and they just love the livery. Like, same as me, and when they saw it, it just looks cool.
No one makes liveries like cigarette companies.
Yeah, exactly. Marlboro, yeah, exactly. Lucky Strike. Yeah, there's a bunch of really cool ones. Yeah, so the 911 interior, it was really in great condition. The car's a 1987, and the only thing I really had redone were the front seats. And so stock OEM front seats, but they're completely rewrapped and brand new leather. So the idea for the interior was just to make it kind of like OEM, but just refreshing everything. Oh, and then it's got a turbo wheel too. Some people say, where'd this steering wheel come from? The car's not a 930 turbo. It's considered a G body. Like Porsche guys get really upset if I call it a 930. They're like, that's not a 930. And I'm like, whoa, all right.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, technically, it just depends on who you ask. 930 is a designation for the body. And so it's a 930 body, but the 930 is different because it's got wide hips and it's turbocharged. So one of the main reasons I bought this car was because they're quote unquote bulletproof. So I drive this car really hard, and it's starting to smoke a little. Like, I think the rings need to be replaced, but I enjoy this car, and I drive it hard. And the guy that I bought it from, he autocrossed it. So whereas a lot of people are preserving these cars, Duke, who owned the car for, I don't know, 15 years before I bought it, he just autocrossed it in parking lots on racetracks, and then I drive it like I stole it every single day. So I've got a stack of tickets to prove it. In this car, what I like most about the driving experience is the shifting, the exhaust, the air-cooled sound of the motor. You know, it's just, I can hear all the clicks and the noises and the road noise. I typically will drive with the windows down, and I don't even really listen to the radio because it's just a symphony of noises. So, it's fun to take a passenger, but I really cherish my drives, alone through the mountains, on the highway, through the roads. It's just, I guess you could call this my daily driver. I change between the air-cooled 911 and probably my E30. So the reason I think the Analog and Grit 911 sort of represents me and represents the Analog and Grit brand is because the car is just completely analog. There's no computers, there's no corrective software. It's just you in the car. And that's my favorite type of driving experience. I don't know what it dates back to. It could be like me and a kid riding a go-kart or something, but it's just a car that I really enjoy driving. And I kind of feel like in today's day and age with electric cars and Tesla trucks and Priuses and things like that, kind of like there's a lost art of driving that kind of fell through the cracks. And so with the art here and here at our clubhouse and the cars that I feel sort of represent the brand and the cars that I gravitate toward, they all have one thing in common: they're analog. I mean, you're not going to find electric cars here, and everything's gas burning, everything's loud, everything's just raw, and that was sort of the inspiration behind the brand.
I think it's cool that the car collecting hasn't taken a back seat, even though you're running the business and everything like that. It's just to fuel what you've already been doing.
Yeah, the car guys will appreciate this. The most frustrating thing is when you have a modest car collection is where do I put all these cars? I don't have the space for them. Most people, they'll have like 2, maybe a 4-car garage, and you start collecting like 10 plus cars, there's just something about parking your cars outside. I don't want my cars outside. I don't care if they get dusty or rained on or bird poop or something. You just feel good when all your babies are under a roof and safe. And so having a warehouse, having this ANG warehouse is kind of like a double-edged sword because it makes money when you store cars and when you have members in it. It doesn't make money when you collect your own cars and store your own cars in it. So that's my biggest challenge.